but it's all present. Want my position, check my check, cause we can make amends. See me lit, see me flex from the concrete guru. Spit like
Okay, and welcome to the IIQ. Welcome to part 3 of our IIQ film session. And today we're going to kind of continue our conversations that we were having last week. Remember, the purpose of everything we're doing here is to try to help improve our basketball IQ, right? And so last week we talked about positioning and timing on defense. This week we're going to talk about jumping to the ball, which definitely kind of blends into that same discussion from last week. And we did that on purpose. Basically what we want to continue to do over these next few weeks is to just continue to connect our topics and our concepts to previous topics and concepts, see how they all fit, and see if we can improve our overall understanding of this basketball game, particularly from a defensive perspective, right? And so again, we're going to kind of talk about similar things today that we did last week, but we're going to extend it, and we're going to be a little bit more specific this time. So we're going to show you some situations that occur pretty frequently on the floor. And so how do we handle that? What do we need to think about? What do we need to read? Those are the things we want to talk about today and this week. Now, before we get to that, I kind of have something new I want to do at the beginning of each IIQ lesson. I want to show some awesome clips from our team and some clips of our teammates making really, really good plays. And I don't want to break them down. I don't want to talk too much about them or spend time on them when we could spend some more time teaching the defense and stuff like that. But I just want to celebrate the fact that our players have talent. Our players are great. They're great kids, and they've made great plays, and I want to watch them and show you guys how cool they can be. And so each week, maybe we'll focus on a different player. We'll try to get all the players out there over these next, I think there'll be 8 more episodes. And so today we're just going to start with Keenan. And Keenan had 30 this game. And Keenan made some phenomenal moves. And so I've got 3 short clips just to show you. So here we go. Here's the first one. What I love about all of these is Keenan has so many components to his game, like fakes or using the right hand on the left side or some sort of shifty moves that help get his defenders off balance. And he just gets these nice and smooth and beautiful looking plays because of it. This one's my favorite right here. Just so nice. Excellent, Keenan. Great job. All right, so here's our first clip that is going to revolve around defense and our discussion of jumping to the ball this week. And so, here, let's just watch it first. Let's see what happens. Playing Andover, it looks like. Ooh, and we get hit with the back screen in the middle of the floor. Easy layup. Okay, so this is an important thing to talk about. And the reason is because this is a situation that will come up a lot. Basically what happened is Donald's guarding the ball. His guy makes a pass. And so what happens if we're guarding the ball, our guy makes a pass? What do we do? Where does jumping to the ball come into play there? So here we go. All right. Now, for the most part, people are positioned okay, right? People are positioned okay. Good, Jay. I just saw you jump here. It was a little bit late, but that's awesome because, right, you are now 1 pass away once Donald's guy gets the ball, and we want to be close to this passing lane so that we don't let this pass occur easily, right? So good job, Jay. Let's try to recognize it a little bit quicker. Remember, everybody, we want to move as the ball is in the air. That way, by the time the new guy catches the ball, we are where we want to be already. We're already in good position as soon as the guy gets the ball. Really, the only one that we would want to adjust here is DJ over on the far side. This ball is now on Andover's left side of the court. And so when the ball is on the left side of the court, we want to get our guys, right? Or when the ball is on the opposite side from you, we want to get you sinking into the middle so that we can continue to protect the basket, right? Now, essentially our goal as far as jumping to the ball and guarding guys that are away from the ball is concerned, essentially our goal is this. We want to be as close to the basketball as we possibly can while still guarding our guy. Meaning this. Obviously, there are 5 offensive guys out there, and we have 5 defensive guys, and we need to guard all 5 guys. However, only the ball can score, right? And so in a simplistic way, what we really are is 5 guys working together to not let the other team score. So again, we do need you to guard your guy, but what we really need is to think about all the effective choices we can make that'll make it really hard for that ball to go into the basket, right? And so the first and most important thing that makes it really hard to get the ball in the basket is to put a lot of defenders around the ball, because there's just not as much space to work, right? And so again, what we really need you to try to do here is get as close to the ball as you can while still guarding your guy. And then that instantaneously will put pressure on the ball, but you're still locking up your guy, right? And so your guy's not going to score, and the ball is dealing with tougher stuff. All right, so here we go. Every time the ball is passed, we need to jump to the ball. What that means is you need to reposition yourself closer to the ball, right? And so Donald's guy is about to pass it across to the key, right? And so it's coming from the left side of the floor, going to the right side of the floor. So no matter what, everybody needs to, as that ball gets passed to the right side, jump farther to the right side. And they have to do it immediately. And as you can see here, when it gets passed, we didn't really move a muscle. And so Donald kind of looks like a cornerback, like guarding, a wide receiver on the line. I don't know the terminology. I believe it's like press coverage or so. The only issue with that is this guy now, because you're kind of just looking at him, you're not exactly sure where he's going to go. He gets to try to set you up. He knows where he's going to go, and he's going to try to blow by you. The difference is if you pop to this side of him right now, so you take 1 or 2 steps to the left because we're jumping to the ball as the ball is passed, he can't do that as effectively. And the reason is you are already between him and the ball. And so he has to make this roundabout loop to go back in front of you, which he's not going to do. And since he is not in front of you and you are between him and the ball, you are in a position where it makes it really hard for this guy to get the ball back. Because if they're going to pass it to you, but you're in the middle of them, you're just going to steal that, right? And so basically what we want to have happen here is Donald jump to the middle so that this guy can't cut in front of your face and just go down the middle of the lane. That's what the terminology is going to be called. If you're guarding the ball and then the ball gets passed, a lot of times that guy's going to move, reposition, he's going to cut, right? And what the defense can't allow to have happen is we can't allow our face to get cut. Because when they cut in front of our face, it's possible to throw them a direct pass. We don't want them to throw a direct pass, right? We don't want that at all. We want to make every pass as challenging as it can. So Donald, we want you to pop this way a little bit so that you force the guy to go the other way instead of in front of you. That's going to make it so he's not able to get the ball, right? So again, Donald, if we were on this side, we could get this guy to cut this way. Now maybe they throw an alley-oop, but again, he passed the ball again, right? And so they couldn't throw it right now, and we would have been able to stop this play. Now, the last thing I want to mention is, Jay, the ball is getting passed again. It's actually the second pass since you were 1 pass away. So, Jay, we need you to reposition to the middle of the floor now, too. Because just imagine, maybe Donald jumps the ball. That's great. Maybe he forgets, and he doesn't. But, Jay, if you're hanging out in here, this guy's about to curl. Maybe he runs you over, and it's a charge. Maybe you deflect the pass, and that's great, and we regain control of the possession, or we get to reset it. A lot of things can happen. But remember, every time the ball is passed, we need to move while it's in the air so that by the time the guy catches it, we're in that spot and we can impact the play. And that just didn't happen. All right. So let's go see the next one. Let's see what happens here. I think this is Coon Rapids. Cut him off, skip pass. Ooh, and trailed, curl cut, layup. All right, so let's talk this one through too. So real quick, I'll just tell you the difference between this one and the last one. The last one we were specifically talking about what happens if we're guarding the ball and the ball gets passed. What does jumping to the ball look like there? This time, that's not exactly occurring. Jay, you do a great job to cut this guy off, and then he throws this skip pass, right? And what I mean by skip pass is Alpha's guy was the one that was 1 pass away. But this ball skips that guy and goes to the guy that's 2 passes away at the top of the key, right? Oop, not Alpha, Donald, I mean. Alpha's right here. Donald's guy was 1 pass away, but he didn't throw it to him. He skipped him and threw it to the guy that was 2 passes away. right? And so now when you are 2 passes away, Jay, that's what we want to talk about now. How can we handle this? How can we make it a little bit more difficult for Coon Rapids to have scored here, right? And basically, let's go back 5 seconds. It has to happen right now. Ready, set, boom. Remember, as soon as the ball gets passed, everybody needs to see it and jump to the ball, right? And everybody's in decent position here. Alpha, we would like you up a little higher. That way you can put a little bit more pressure on him. Keenan, maybe 1 or 2 steps closer to the middle so we can straddle that lane line. But again, all in all, we're in okay position here. What has to really happen now is, Jay, let's talk about what we could have done there. First of all, that ball is passed, and it is skip pass, right? And so you need to pop a little bit closer to the middle. Donald's guy is 1 pass away, not your guy. And so Donald should be getting up here into the passing lane. But Jay, you get to just kind of hang out a little bit. Now, you don't have to go stand by Collins and his guy directly next to him, but maybe kind of where my cursor is right now, right? And here's why that would be important. First of all, let's talk staying in a stance. Everybody has heard a basketball coach yell or say, hey guys, we got to be in a stance. The reason why being in a stance is important is your body is ready to do the next thing. Your muscles are ready. They're tense. They're tightened up. They're ready to make the next play. You're ready to shuffle. You're ready to sprint. You're ready to dive. But if you're standing straight up, you then have to get into a stance, and then you have to do one of those things, right? And so the first thing I notice here, Jay, is that when this guy makes the pass, instead of jumping to the ball, you actually relaxed a little bit, and you stood up. And now you're not ready to make the next move. And that's unfortunate, right? Because your guy actually makes the next move, and we need you to make the next move. So first, what should happen is, again, we got to be in a stance, jump over here into the middle a little bit. And the reason why is because this guy's going to now set a screen. It kind of looks like a blur cut when he actually does it. But if we were kind of in the middle, as your guy Jay comes up here, you just have to step up the line too. And then he runs into you, right? Let's watch him curl this again, right? He curls it and boom, layup. But just imagine this. If you were in the middle, Jay, boom, as he's curling here, if you would have just stepped up here, where's this guy going to run? He's running right into where my cursor is, literally right into where you would be stepping. And all you had to do was pop over to the lane line a little bit, take a couple steps up as he ran up, and boom, there you are, right? However, by not being in a stance and not being ready to go and not jump into the ball, what happens is this guy's going to come set a screen. You think you have to deal with it, so you chase. But because we weren't in a stance, he's ready to go first. He takes the first step. We are behind, and now he's got all the control in this possession, right? And they score because of it. But again, what I just wanted to show you is if we jump to the ball right here, right, as this guy curls around, he's literally going to run into your body. He is not going to get this play if we jump to the ball and we're positioned appropriately, right? Okay, now let's try to get through this one more. Ooh, Park Center, here we go. Now, let's go back. This one's less of a jumping to the ball scenario and more of a, we just got to be positioned appropriately right off the bat. Here's the ball. And the ball is on this side of the court, right? Park Center's left side of the court. When the ball is on the left side, people who are guarding guys on the other side need to be in the middle. And I want us to look at Jay and at Mackay right now, and even at, is this Albert right here? Literally none of you see the ball. We talk about being in a stance, using your peripheral vision, right, to see the ball and your man so that you can impact both of it. So, Jay, we should open up a little bit. Mackay, we should open up a little bit. Albert, open up a little bit. You got to be able to see this and your man, right? And not only that, but Jay, we need to open up and get more into the lane. Mackay, same thing. Albert, same thing. We got to get into the lane over here. Now, why? Well, David is guarding Mr. Dane Danger all by himself. All by himself. And this man is going to Baylor, #1 program in the country. He is going to the NBA after that. And David's guarding him all by himself. He could use your help here. And, right, this is not a live ball yet. All we have to do is position ourselves more in the middle. Because this guy's going to set a screen, right? Well, who's he going to screen if Makai's standing here? You're not going to screen anybody. They can interchange. They can run around in circles all they want. If you're in the middle, you're still guarding them. It's hard to make that pass through the backboard. And so then they're just wasting their time running around over here if you guys are truly in the middle. And on top of it, then when Mr. Danger gets the ball here, we can send Jay at him, Makai at him, Albert at him, or just one of you, depending on, are we going to scheme a double team or anything like that. But with all that being said, somebody has to come over here and help David out. This is an NBA player, and he's just going to shoot a layup if we don't.